stories for bedtime,
and car time, and playtime,
and anytime you want to hear how much Jesus loves you in all this world.
Even little birds.
Hi, I'm Pastor Sarah at St. Paul Lutheran Church in Davenport, Iowa, and I'm here to tell you stories told just for kids, or kids at heart. Every week, I am going to tell you a story about Jesus from the Bible. But for these stories on this podcast, we are going to need to bring our imaginations. We are going to imagine that there was a little bird in all of those Bible stories, a little bird who was friends with Jesus, a little bird who saw all the stuff that Jesus did and heard all the things that Jesus said. This week, our story continues just after Little Bird and Mary met an angel. That angel came to Mary to tell her that she was going to have a special baby, a baby named Jesus. Mary said a very brave yes to being the mother of a very important baby. But don't you want to know what happens next?
Yeah!
Me too. Our story continues when Mary turns up to find some help and support from her cousin and friend. So here is episode 2.
Little Bird and Mary visit Elizabeth.
It was that same beautiful spring day. The sun streamed brightly on Little Bird, a tiny brown sparrow, and on Mary as they sang and praised God. Gabriel, that angel who sparkled and glittered with the most enormous wings, Gabriel had just told Mary that God had chosen her to have a baby, a most important baby named Jesus. And ever since he left, Mary and Little Bird had been singing together, praising God. Mary sang and danced as she finished doing her laundry, imagining this new baby already growing in her tummy. And Little Bird flew to the highest branch of the tree next to Mary and sang as loud as her little voice could sing. As Mary hung up the laundry to dry, she looked up at Little Bird. "Little Bird, will you come with me to see my cousin Elizabeth? I think she might be the only person who could understand this amazing thing happening to me. Elizabeth is having a baby too, a miraculous baby that no one expected, because she really is much too old to become a mom. But somehow God made that happen too. I can't make sense of all of this alone. And the truth is, even though I'm excited, I'm also worried and scared. I think Elizabeth can help. Would you come with me, Little Bird? Will you?" Little Bird had never been invited to be a part of anything. Even though she wasn't sure how far she could fly, she realized in that moment that she would go anywhere with this young woman named Mary and with that little baby. Mary got ready right away, and they left the little house in Nazareth. Mary walked on the dusty road with the little bird flying beside her. It was a long journey. They walked for 10 days. As they walked, Mary would talk to Little Bird, and Little Bird would listen. Mary worried about what people would say. Would her fiancé, Joseph, be happy about the baby? Would they be good parents? She worried about a lot of things. but as they went, they'd also sing. Singing is a good way to pass time on a long trip. And just when it felt like little bird's wings might just fall right off from flapping too hard, Mary stopped outside of a house and walked into the yard. "Here it is," Mary said. "This is where my cousin Elizabeth and her husband Zechariah live." Mary knocked on the door, but no one answered. So she called out, "Elizabeth, it's me, your cousin Mary." Little Bird heard a voice. "Mary, Mary of Nazareth, is that you?" And from around the back of the house came a tall woman with wrinkles all over her face from too much smiling, silvery gray curly hair, and a big round belly, like she'd swallowed a watermelon. Little Bird watched as Elizabeth gave Mary an awkward, leaning hug, that big baby belly getting in the way. And Little Bird heard Elizabeth and Mary both starting to laugh. Elizabeth said, "Did you feel that?" Mary nodded through her giggles. Elizabeth said, "That was my baby. Mary, the moment I heard your voice, my baby started leaping, doing backflips, dancing with joy in my belly." Elizabeth looked to Mary, glowing almost as much as the angel Gabriel did. Mary couldn't hold her story in any longer. She spoke a mile a minute, telling Elizabeth all about the angel and his big announcement about the special baby Jesus. Elizabeth beamed in response. "You are blessed among women," she said. "The baby in your body is also blessed. How is it that I, of all people, have the good fortune of you coming to see me?" Mary smiled, soaking in the love and reassurance. Elizabeth put her wrinkled hands on Mary's cheeks and looked right in her eyes. "Mary, God is doing something special in you, and you are blessed for believing and trusting God." Little Bird could see the worry and the fear disappear from Mary's eyes. She wasn't alone anymore. Someone believed her and believed what God was doing in her. And with those words of support, Little Bird tweeted her own little song of encouragement too. Elizabeth looked and saw Little Bird and smiled. Mary told her, "That's my friend, Little Bird. She was there when Gabriel came, and she came all of this way with me. We've been singing together on the way here, a song about how amazing God is." Elizabeth said, "I want to hear your song. Can you sing it for me?" Little Bird gave the pitch, and they started to sing. Now, kids, I don't know the tune, but Mary sang words like these.
My soul praises God. God has looked with love on me, a poor girl, and God blessed me. God's kindness started long before us and will keep going after us. God knocks down the bullies and lifts up those who are weak. God fills up the hungry with good things. God will keep God's promises and will bless us our whole lives.
Mary kept singing, and soon Elizabeth joined her in a beautiful duet. Or perhaps it's more like a trio. Two very unlikely pregnant women and a little sparrow singing praise to God. What an amazing God we have! God not only chose Mary and Elizabeth to do amazing things, but brought them together to support one another and to sing together. So kids, what stood out for you in that story? Can you imagine the song that Mary and Elizabeth and Little Bird sang? Maybe you can make up your own song of praise. I wonder what Mary felt when she heard those words from Elizabeth. Have you had a time in your life when someone encouraged and supported you? Maybe this week you can find that person and tell them thank you. Or maybe you can be like Elizabeth and encourage someone else by telling them how strong or gifted or kind they are. Who knows? Your encouraging words might just end up in a song or a dance party like Mary and Elizabeth and Little Bird. And that's the end of this episode of Little Bird and Jesus.
Now flap your little wings. Sing a little song.
And remember that to Jesus,
You will always belong.
Thanks for listening to Little Bird and Jesus, a podcast of St. Paul Lutheran Church in Davenport, Iowa. For more information on St. Paul, visit us at stpaulqc.org. Come visit us again next week as Little Bird continues her journey.